Okay, tomorrow morning when we get up, we're going to start on the marinara or spaghetti sauce. We've got the tomatoes in the house. Just have to scald them and peel them tomorrow, but I'm going to do some prep work tonight. I just dug the onions, washed them up. I'm going to chop them. They don't have to be real fine. And I'm going to saute them in olive oil tonight. Put them in glass jars in the refrigerator, and that'll be ready to go in the morning. The peppers I will wash, chop up. I will not saute them. I did that one year, and they really were better not sauteed. So I'll get those ready. The basil I'll pick in the morning, so it will be nice and fresh. Remember, it turns dark in the refrigerator. The fresh oregano, probably pick that in the morning too. All these seasonings, I could get them ready, stick them in a jar, so that the main work I have to do tomorrow is just scalding the tomatoes, 30 cups of tomatoes. Okay, there's still 2 onions left. I have my 8 cups. Pretty coarse chop, since I'm going to be sauteing them, and we're going to be pureeing the peppers in the blender and along with the onions. 1/3 cup of oil. I'm using sunflower oil. You could use olive oil if you have a good quality olive oil. And it looks like the oil is over there heating up. I'll go dump these onions in. And that might have been a bold move to dump all 8 cups of onions in at once. I'm going to be careful stirring these so they don't go overboard. It's probably going to take a good, 10 minutes. Low, medium, low heat. This is what the onions look like after 5 minutes. We'll give them another 5. Okay, after 10 minutes are pretty good. I'm going to turn the heat off, put the lid on, and let them steam. I noticed a few of these I forgot to cut the part next to the root out. I'll still have to do that. This pepper, even though it's not even completely red yet, is really sweet. It would be even better in a few more days, but I don't have a few more days. So I'm going to chop this up. I'm going to use the knife my brother gave me again, a Japanese knife, and I need 8 cups. Okay, I don't quite have 8 cups yet. These are very coarse chopped. They don't need to be bite-sized pieces because I'm going to be putting everything in the blender tomorrow, the onions and the peppers and the tomatoes, and blending them up smooth. My family does not like chunky spaghetti sauce. Now, one of these peppers that I picked, pretty sure that's a garden salsa. So that's going to go in the refrigerator drawer, and it's going to wait until we make salsa. I think I have enough now. I think I have enough peppers for my spaghetti sauce. And then I went ahead and picked, since I found some really pretty jalapenos, I went ahead and picked some of those for salsa. What I wanted to say was, if you've been growing bell peppers because you like sweet peppers, there are better peppers out there. The Aruba and the Atris, so much sweeter than any bell pepper I've ever had, especially if you let these get flaming red. Okay, I am almost finished here. Here's 8 cups of sweet peppers. I'm working on the next 8 cups. Here's the junk in there. I have 3 quarts here of sauteed onions. Oh, and I keep making a mistake. I want to correct myself on this. The big sweet onions are either Atris or Aconcagua. I don't know why I keep saying Aruba. I think Aruba is a different kind, but Atris or Aconcagua are the really big, sweeter than bell peppers. I decided to use all the mini peppers, the Yum Yum series, after all. I mean, they're easy. I'm not even messing with the seeds on the inside. There's very few seeds. All I have to do is cut the caps off, and then those will I can throw them right in the blender. All right, let's get started making the marinara or a spaghetti sauce. Preparation for the tomatoes is a little bit different. You do take out the cut around the top as before. Then on the bottom, just make a small X. See if I can do that. There. And then I put them into scalding water for about a minute. Right. Scoop them out with this. Put them into cold water. And then you slip the skins off. Well, this will be easier to do with 2 hands. Okay. And after I have the skins off, I will squish them up a bit over here in this pan. Put them in here. Squish them a little because I am going to be blending them in the blender. Let me show you over here. With the onions that I prepped last night and the peppers that I prepped last night in the blender. I'll have to go out and pick some basil to go with that. Some of the tomatoes, once I got them from the living room into the kitchen and looked at them, they're still too firm and still not quite ripe enough, so these will have to wait for another day. Got a pan full here. I'm not sure if that's my 30 cups yet. I'll have to measure it. In the meantime, go outside and pick 4 cups of basil. Okay, here's my basil. I don't want any that have, like this, any with any kind of bug holes. So I'm going to go through and pick out only the very nicest leaves. This time of year, it's a little harder to find perfect basil leaves, but I got my 4 cups pressed down, 2 cups per batch. Okay, I puree the tomatoes first, so that's going to make it easier to blend everything else. It ends up looking a bit like gazpacho, but once we cook it down and add the tomato paste, it will be a nice red color. So I'll put this first batch here into the kettle and keep processing in the blender all these vegetables. Okay, this is one batch, just the vegetables, just the tomatoes, the onions, the basil, and the peppers, the sweet peppers. Okay. I'm going to put the tomato paste in that and the spices. Let's look over here again. So it's going to take by a large can of tomato paste. There's balsamic vinegar, and I'll probably use sea salt. Okay, the only thing I haven't put in yet, and I'll stir this in, is a tomato paste. You'll see that'll make it a lot different color. If you didn't want to add tomato paste, you would have to cook the thing all day. Tomato paste helps to thicken it up. Okay, the kitchen smells pretty wonderful right now. Now it's just a matter of time of letting these cook down for a couple of hours, filling the jars, and then processing them. Alright, I've got the first 7 jars here. I want to wipe them off and put the lids on. Same procedure as with the vegetable soup, where I want to wipe off the rim here twice. Wipe it off with a damp cloth and wipe it off with a dry cloth. Make sure that there will be no speck of tomato on there that will keep it from sealing. While I'm doing this, I wanted to show you about how thick it is. It's really thick enough. It's really thick enough. It doesn't need to cook another 2 hours. Okay, last night I filled the dishwasher with as many jars as I could put in it, and then the rest of them I put in the oven so that I have, I don't know, maybe 29 jars or so. But that way this morning I could just take all those jars out of the dishwasher, and they were on heated dry. They were sterilized and ready to go. Saved me a little bit more time. You do have to keep stirring this, one so it doesn't scorch, and the other so that the thick from the bottom gets moved around. The thinner sauce will come to the top. This is about an hour behind the other pan. I got the first kettle off the stove, this kettle here. So now I'm putting in 2 quarts of water into the pressure canner and about a tablespoon of white vinegar. I will get the first 7 jars in so I can get this process going. Alright, 7 jars is a snug fit. Now, remember I have the water in there. Now I have to line up these 2 arrows. 2 arrows lined up. Give it a twist to the right so that these handles line up. Right. We'll turn it on. Turn on medium heat. And we're waiting for this to go to 5 pounds pressure, and then I'll set the timer for 15 minutes. The valve is spitting. There we go. Now it's sealed. And now I just have to wait for this dial to go up to 5 pounds pressure, and then just keep adjusting the heat so that it doesn't go over 5 pounds. Okay, the pressure valve dropped. I'm holding the lid to let some of the steam escape before I take the lid off and take the jars off. And then I have a double thickness of cloth over there to put the jars on to let them cool. And then I'll start the next batch. Okay, once again, use the jar lifter. Squeeze it together to take them out. All my jars are filled. This ended up making 28 quarts. I'll probably need to do a single batch next week to get another 14 quarts, and I should be good.